back to yet again another video, and this is part 2 to a video that you saw last week where I talked about the top 5 movies that I refuse to watch. And not only I refuse to watch, but I refuse to review. Maybe like 3, maybe 2 of these movies I might review at some point. Well, this is part 2 to a video that I did last week, so make sure you stay tuned to the very end of this video, because I have a movie on this list that might shock a lot of people. So make sure you stay tuned for the entire list. So no more time to waste. Kicking this bad boy off at number 5 with a little movie called Brightburn. This movie tells a story about an evil Superman that crashed onto the farm, and this family who is not able to have kids, a man and a wife, and they basically take this little boy in after he crashed on Earth, and then they basically take him in as one of their own, and now they got a child of their own. Little by they know, he have his own little mindset going on. Basically, he's just pure evil. The reason I refuse to rewatch this movie for the second, third, fourth time is because the movie took a simple premise and made it to be evil, basically an evil Superman. And I feel like the movie wasted some potential there. When you watch the movie, you slowly realize that Brightburn is just an evil Superman, and everything falls on his face when the writers didn't really know what they wanted. The movie, like I said, to me the movie didn't work. And what made this movie not work is the fact that we didn't really get to see him do good for him to even just be full-on evil. Yeah, they did hint at it, because he was always getting bullied and criticized at school, but it really didn't flesh no idea, because he didn't try to be good. And so to me that just kind of felt like a misplaced for this movie. I only saw this movie one time, and I have no intention of watching it again, to be honest with you. Number 4, holy shit, I already reviewed this movie right here, a movie called Cat, 2019. This movie made me feel so uncomfortable watching it. It grossed me out, and it made me feel like I needed to take a shower, but with bleach or something. I don't really know how to describe how uncomfortable this movie was. This movie tells a story about nothing, really. It don't tell no story at all. It's just about a fucking bunch of creepy ass cats dancing around, and they horny as hell. That's all I'm gonna say, because this movie is a disaster. Not to mention the fact that this was a stage play back in the 90s, I believe. But this movie just should have never been made. If you want to see my full-on review of this movie, I'll try to remember the link in the description down below. But yeah, Cat 2019 just wasn't it. The movie was so cringeworthy, uncomfortable, a bunch of horny-ass cats dancing around, some cringeworthy ass jokes, some jokes that just fell flat and everything. I mean, there's some stars in this movie that I would have never thought would have took a role like that. But yeah, I gotta move on because I'm feeling so uncomfortable. Number 3, we got a movie called Lady in the Water, a film directed by M. Night Shyamalan, whatever the fuck his name is. I call him M. Night for short. But anyway, Lady in the Water tells a story about the janitor. I believe he's a janitor, and he discovered this mermaid of some kind, and the movie just turned out to be a fairy tale love story, and it had the most obvious cliche plot twist you would ever see. It was dumb. I fell asleep on this movie so many times. I probably would say this is the only movie on this list that I've watched more than once, and I tried my best to get through to this movie. I went to the movie theater to see this fucking thing and fell asleep. I got a chance to watch it back at my house, fell asleep. I watched it again, fell asleep. And I was finally able to put this movie to rest. And this movie right here is just not good. It's really not good. The performances are bad, the writing is bad, and M. Night needs to stop trying to go big, but he ended up shooting himself in the knees and the foot every time he tried to go big. Some of his movies is hit, some are miss. But Lady in the Water just wasn't it. It was just filled with some of the stupidest cliche shit you've seen in almost every movie that's similar to this. Number two is another M. Night movie called Old. I went to the movie theater with my sister and my nephew to see this movie. And if you want to see what I really think about this movie, also link in the description down below. But this movie tells the story about a group of people go to this island, look to have a little good time, you know, blow off some steam. And all of a sudden they started realizing that they feel different, they look different, if you would say. They basically getting older. And the longer they stay on the island, the weirder and weirder and older they get as time go by. But to me, that wasn't the problem. The problem was two things. One, the execution did not match what he was going for. Then number two, you had the concept did not match the execution either, because he wanted to show you one thing, but then he was doing something else. I mean, M. Night is known for doing these wild ass things with his movies, but I will honestly be completely clear with you. Old is just a movie that I refuse to watch again because it was that bad for me. I had a horrible experience in the theater watching this movie. That's how bad it was. And not to mention, he was showing landscape of certain things, like, and then he was doing weird things with the camera. This movie just wasn't fucking good for me. And lucky number one is gonna be the Fast and Furious series. The Fast and Furious, you know, with Paul Walker, Tyrese, Ludacris, all of them. What do I thought? I would say this. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. But the only reason that I stopped watching this movie was because of Paul Walker passed away when he died in that car crash in real life. Excuse me. But like I said, for me, the Fast and Furious just became less about the cars and more about the drama and putting big name stars. We got Ronda Rousey in the fucking series, The Rock, what the fuck, John Cena. I'm like, what is this about? Is this about the cars or is this about big name stars? But yeah, like I said, they just threw everything at the wall, and holy shit, they threw so much that they were hoping that something stick. And whatever they threw at the wall, and if it didn't stick, they throw something else at the wall, and that never stick. I mean, hell, let's just go out of space, sorry. But yeah, like I said, the Fast and Furious series kind of died for me when Paul Walker passed away. There was no reason for me to watch it again. They threw so much stuff, like I said, they threw so much stuff at the wall, and they just shot themselves in the foot every single time. I refuse to watch this fun time. I just can't do it. I refuse. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up this list. If you have some movies that you refuse to watch, drop them in the comment down below. I'll check them out maybe, if I would. But I would probably make a part 3. I gotta kind of dive deep in this brain cell of mine, but I don't think I want to go too deep because there's probably some movies that I would never want to talk about for a lot of reasons. But yeah, nonetheless, make sure, if you're new, make sure you drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell notification so that way when I drop another lit video for the channel, you'll be the first one to get it. And I hope to see you Hellraiser in that video.